What is going on, everybody? Back again today to talk about my favorite, or it has become my favorite, comic book series, period. Like to date at this point. Uh, and as you can tell by the title, it is Invincible. I've read all of Invincible. I have not read all of the spin off titles, Guarding the Globe, Tech Jacket, Astounding Wolfman, Invincible Universe, Brit. I have not read all of that. I'm still getting through that, but I have read Invincible. And it's because I've read all of Invincible that I want to read all of that other stuff because uh, Invincible is a big, vast, collected superhero comic book universe, and it is the best one by far. Like the Invincible universe and the overall story of Invincible and everything that happens. I haven't even read the spin-offs, but I just know all of it together is the greatest superhero epic of all time. And it's just because Robert Kirkman, the genius that he is, same guy that did Walking Dead, this is his take on a superhero story. And he managed to fill it with uh every single thing that you would expect from a superhero story, and yet still have it feel like it's not just repeating previous shit that other companies and superhero stories have done. It doesn't feel derivative. I mean, it does feel a little derivative sometimes, but in a good way. Like this is such a good story. It's got everything you want. It's got the crazy characters with very unique superpowers, colorful, unique costumes, secret identities, love, romance, drama, epic battles and wars in space, intergalactic confrontations, space cultures, the whole dynamic of like having to manage a life as a superhero but also be a normal person. There's a lot of good father son family overall family relationship dynamic things going on in here. The action is outstanding. It is most of the time, I'm going to say it is beautifully drawn most of the time. Whoever the guy was that they got to take over the story. So I'll tell you what, the Invincible is 144 issues long overall. That's the entirety of the story. Whoever they got to take over the final issue 144, just not feeling it. Not feeling it. I'm sorry. Personally, I think that whoever did the well, let me see here. I'm flipping through it now. I think they split it. I don't think the art was all done by one person for the last issue. I think it was multiple people. But there you just know there's an artist that typically draws Invincible, and they are by far the one that I prefer. Every once in a while they have this other person come in, especially later on towards the end. I don't like that new person's art as well. Invincible is meant to have a typical look, and it does. And for the Amazon show, they've translated it pretty well. I think it looks great on that Amazon show. I think I like the animation a lot. I like the voice actors they've chosen from it. But I already did a review of Invincible Season 1. This is talking about the comic. Not only have I read the whole thing, I do own the whole thing, but sadly enough, like this is Compendium 3. You can buy it in trade paperback form, like single issue, or not single issue, but like, collect 6 issues at a time, and it's just like flimsy, like more comic book. I think the way to do it, both like in terms of the amount of story you get in each installment and just like price wise, the 3 compendiums, that's definitely the way to go. There are 3 of them. They're all about this size. They're each about $65. And I owned all 3. But guess what? For those of you who don't know, me and my wife recently did a big move. Took us 3-4 days of driving. And we packed as much stuff into our Jeep as we could, but for the rest of the stuff, we had to have a moving company come pick it up and load it into a truck. Anyone who's ever thinking about moving, do not use Atlantis van lines. The drivers are always late. They were late picking our stuff up. We were originally told one day. They ended up picking us up the next day. And then for that next day, we were told anywhere between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. They ended up picking us up. They ended up getting there at like 7, 8 o'clock at night. So and then dropping stuff off. We were told they're going to be there at 4. They didn't get here till 7. So they're constantly late because their drivers don't give a shit. I guarantee you, whoever their dispatch people are with the trucks you talk to at corporate or whatever, they're mapping shit out. They're looking online. Okay, it says online on this mapper program, whatever, it says based on weather conditions, road time, blah, blah, blah. It's going to take them this long to get there. And then, so they'll probably be there around this time. And then those people report to you, hey, they're going to get there around 4. But the drivers dragged their ass, and they were late both times. And on top of that, the way that they treated our stuff in its boxes was absolutely terrible. They dropped off boxes here when it finally got delivered, and the box was just torn open, had big holes in it. Shit could have fallen out. Me and my wife, we have it around $600 worth of damaged and missing items. And among those things, both of my Invincible compendiums 1 and 2 were terribly water damaged. So, yeah. Gonna have to replace these. I'm already having like a claims fight with their insurance, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully they reimburse me for all this shit. We'll see. But yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. I know I only have like 500 something subscribers, but anybody out there that's thinking about doing a big move, do not use Atlantis van lines. Don't use them. Tell them to fuck right off. But anyway, so back to Invincible. Love it. Can't say enough good things about it. There were a couple, like right off the top of my head, there is a moment in here. It's a couple issues long, and this series has been out for a while, so fuck. The objective part of the review is over. I'm going to start talking about spoilers now. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers for it, go ahead and turn this video off. I'm going to start talking about spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Okay. So the part in Invincible where he ends up going back in time and he spends a few weeks, maybe a couple months in the past. At this point, when he gets sent back in time, it's by accident. He didn't do it on purpose. He gets sent back in time, and he's leaving a point in his present where he comes from. He's already got a daughter, and he's living with Adam Eve, and he ends up going back in time to when he's like a senior in high school, and him and Adam Eve they haven't even started dating yet, and he's not even invincible yet. And he starts repeating his life over, but he's got all the knowledge of the future. And so he starts to kind of do everything over again, but better. Like, he doesn't waste time dating his original high school girlfriend. He just goes straight for Adam Eve. He doesn't he immediately confronts his father and is like, Dad, are you secretly a Viltrumite agent here to kind of conquer Earth? And he convinces his dad not to do it. So everything starts, it's like, it's going great. It's like his life he's going to repeat his life, but it's going to repeat much better. But he chooses to go back. He calls out to this, like, we never find out what it is. It's this alien being of just pure light, and it has these like tentacles and shit. He's in his bedroom in the past, and he just kind of calls out to it. He's like, why did you bring me back here, blah, blah, blah. And the thing shows up and starts talking to it, and it's like, you are supposed to be pure, and you're the one that's supposed to do the thing, fulfill the prophecy. They don't say fulfill the prophecy, but it's like it's hinting at something bigger. And it's like but he's just like, no, I want to go back. I want to go back. I want to go back. I have a daughter back there. She was a baby. I want to go back. I don't want her to live without me. I know I could live my life out here in the past, do everything over, but do it better. But I don't want to. I want to go back. And it sends him back. And he shows up. I think, how long was it? 5 years? Yeah, he's gone. He'd been gone for 5 years. He shows back up in the future, he's been gone for 5 years. So to him, it felt like he was gone for a month, maybe 2. But he gets back to his time, and he's been gone for 5 years. I never quite understood this part in the comic. Like, what was the point? Because the alien light being of tentacles It never showed up again. Nothing that it talked about was ever addressed again. Um, it didn't do anything other than just like make him miss 5 years. And it just seemed to me like it was just an excuse to add drama. It was an excuse to do two things. It was an excuse to, one, age up his daughter, because like up until that point, like Robert Kirkman had felt the need to, like, he had to show Eve and Mark. Mark is Invincible. He had to show Eve and Mark, being parents, changing diapers, playing on the floor with the baby. And he's like, this shit's getting old. I don't want to have to constantly be talking about this fucking baby. I want her to be like, a little older, capable of forming coherent thoughts and speech. That'll make her a more interesting character than just being a fucking baby. How do I get there? Let's come up with some bullshit to do a time skip. So I think it was partly about that. It was like, let's age up the daughter. Let's get her to an age where, she's not just like a fucking baby, And then on top of that, they needed some new drama to introduce into Eve and Mark's life. Like, everything was going good. They were living on this planet, away from Earth. They had their own apartment, own place. They were getting along well. They had a daughter. And it's like the story could have ended there, but at the same time, Kirkman knew that it could not end there. There were unresolved things that needed to happen. So he's like, the story is going to have to go on longer because I need to resolve a lot of the shit that I've set up. But at the same time, I don't want to drag this fucking baby along for the entirety of this journey till we're done. So yeah, he just aged up the daughter by doing a time skip. It was just the most kind of redundant thing. I don't know. But overall, I still love the story. There are so many good fight scenes and action scenes, and it's all so well drawn. I cannot say enough good things about Invincible. If you are out there and you're like, man, Marvel and DC, like Marvel Cinematic Universe is great, but in terms of comics, Marvel just hasn't been cutting it. Like, Marvel's okay, and DC is just downright shit these days, because it is. I just need something new. I need a breath of fresh air. Right here. Invincible. Go to your local comic book store, go on Amazon, grab Compendium 1, and get cracking. Start reading, because it's fucking fantastic. And also, I wanted to be ahead of the story for the Amazon Prime TV show, the animated series. So I was like, I need to read this. I want to be ahead of the game. I want to know what's going to happen as the future goes on. So, yeah, brilliant. Can't say enough good things about this. At some point, it is a long story. Like I said, it's 3 of these, like my poor fucking water damaged copy. It's 3 of these big ass tomes. So like, it's a read. At some point in my life, though, I know for a fact I will reread it. I will reread the entire story, but just not yet. I still have to work on finishing. There are, like I said, there are spin-off titles from Invincible. The sort of Justice League Avengers big superhero team of the Invincible universe is called the Guardians of the Globe. So there is a spin-off comic just called Guarding the Globe. Not Guardians of the Globe, Guarding the Globe. There are some other side characters that show up in Invincible, like Tech Jacket. He's kind of like the Invincible universe's Iron Man a little bit. Almost also kind of like their Blue Beetle. And then, what else is there? Astounding Wolfman. That's pretty self-explanatory. It's a guy that can turn into a giant, super strong, ferocious wolf. Brit, who is kind of like their Captain America a little bit. And what else is there? I feel like I'm missing one. Invincible Universe, which is just another spin-off title. It's other stories about Invincible working with other characters. Like, this is Invincible, and yes, other characters do show up in it, but it's about Invincible, and first and foremost, it's about Invincible. Invincible Universe is about Invincible and some of the shit he did with specific other characters. So, all of those I need to get through, I need to read and finish. So, yeah, I love Invincible. Invincible is my favorite comic book series. He is my second favorite superhero after Batman. And and the Invincible universe is my favorite comic book superhero universe. I cannot recommend it enough. It's just fantastic. And then as for just on a side note, once they made some, for those of you who know my channel, I'm a collector. I like to not just collect the physical copy of the books and movies that I read and watch, but I also like to collect statues and toys and figures. So when the Invincible comic was coming out, and it was popular when it was coming out, there was a very small line of adult collector figures for Invincible. I think they made Invincible, Adam Eve, and like a battle damage bloody Invincible, and that was about it. But now with the animated series, which was very positively received from Amazon Prime, and then also that has caused a resurgence in the sales and the reading of the comic. Diamond Select has been contracted to make a line of articulated collector quality Invincible figures based on the show, the animated show. But as I said, I already feel like the animation style of the TV show fits well. It works well as it looks like the comics. I'm happy with it. So we've got right here Diamond Select's first two figures from Invincible. It's from the TV show. We've got Invincible and Omni-Man. Both of these turned out really well. The only thing I'd say about Invincible is like the color they used for his skin should have been like more just the exact same as Omni-Man's. I think they went a little too pale on Invincible for his skin tone. But yeah, so far we've got Invincible and Omni-Man. They're both pretty great. They come with a ton of accessories. They come with flight stands, so you could pose them flying, battling each other, or you could pose them. They come with like a baseball and a catcher's mitt, and the baseball's got like some like flames on the end of it because they can throw it so hard and so fast. So they're nice figures to add to your collection if you're an Invincible fan or if you just like superhero figures. They've already announced the next pair that they're going to release is Adam, Eve, and Robot. Just on a quick side note, I really, really would love to have a figure from like every Invincible character, like every Cecil Stedman, Immortal, Brit, Bulletproof, I think his name was, who like everybody, Monster Girl, I already said Cecil Stedman, everybody, Oliver, everybody. Alan the Alien, Thrag. I would love to get a figure of all of them. So I'm hoping that the show continues to do well, because if the show continues to do really well, Diamond Select will more than likely keep making more figures. I would hate for it to end at like Invincible, Omni-Man, Robot, and Adam Eve. Like that's a shit collection. So, yeah. But yeah, love Invincible. Cannot recommend it enough. It is, in my opinion, the greatest comic book superhero universe, the greatest comic book superhero story, overall story. And then as a character, Invincible is my second favorite superhero after Batman. So love this. Cannot recommend it enough. Get reading, everybody. Cannot stress that enough. You will not regret it. You will love it. So yeah, that's my take on Invincible. Let me know what you guys think. Leave some comments down below. Does anybody not like Invincible? Like, did anybody read Invincible and actually hate it? I'd be interested to hear if that actually happened and why. If that happened, leave a comment below. Get a discussion started. If you like this video, please hit the like button. That really helps out the channel. If you want to help out the channel even more, check out some of my other videos. Subscribe to the channel. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time.